Today's guest is Grace Najean. Grace, you are a transformational coach, spiritual teacher, and founder of the SoulFluence Method. You have a diverse background, which includes over 5,000 hours of elite coaching, including years as a master coach with Tony Robbins. You are passionate about guiding high performance to reconnect with their true selves so they can lead and live from a place of presence and soulful authenticity. Grace, welcome to the show. It's such a delight to have you with me today.
Oh, thank you so much, Agi. I'm so privileged and honored to be here with your listeners. And hopefully I can bring something very useful in their life.
Thank you. As I was telling you just before we started recording, I'm very much looking forward to the conversation. And I think that anyone listening, if you have ever felt disconnected from your purpose, this episode will really speak to you. I have the feeling. So, Grace, the general, let's say, theme or topic I would like to explore with you, or at least start exploring with you, is what you call soulful authenticity, which is very intriguing. Before we go there, just to get a little bit of background, I want to ask specifically what was the turning point, if there was one, that led you to move from the high performance coaching to the soulfluence, to creating the soulfluence method.
Yes. I'm not sure if I can give you in one sentence.
You don't have to.
So, as you know, I was a Tony Robbins coach for 8 years, and that started in 2012. I was client before becoming Tony Robbins coach. So I did all his event, and after that, 6 months later, I became, one of his coaches for 8 years. Now, there are two turning events. One is when we work on our values. Yeah. So Tony asked, what are your top values? And then we write down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was a Date with Destiny event, I think. And of course, as a high achiever, I had a success on top of my list. Yeah. And I was like, yes, of course, success. Yeah. But what else? And then he asked, right, okay, what are the rules make you meet that value, right? And I was just surrendered, and then I started to write down. And then the first one was to make proud my parents. That was it. But you know what? At the time, I was almost 40 years old, and my parents passed away 15 years ago. That was eye-opening moment, saying myself, Grace, what are you doing in your life? For the people who are even not here to see you, what are you doing? Of course, their soul is over there, and then they're watching me, and they're proud. But I've been pushing myself, doing more, having more, always succeeding something for them who are not even there. So that moment was an aha moment for me, deciding I'm going to live on my life with my own voice from now on. That was the decision. And I did. So past 12, almost 13 years, over decades, I've been really working on myself and finding myself and finding my true voice. So that was the journey. At the same time, in that event, Tony had like a meditation, those energy centers meditation. And he said, oh, like any meditation, some of you will have just a relaxed time, but some of you will have a little bit more. And that was me. And because I was in the corporate world so long time before that, I didn't even know what was like a meditation or, yoga or these things was like so far from me. And I did that meditation and something happened. And I realized later, almost 1 year later, I had a heart chakra awakening. So from that moment, like 1 week later, I became vegan. So I don't need anything alive since that time. I can't just swallow. That's it. And so physical transformation and spiritual transformation, I was so lost, People would think, oh, wow, that should be great and amazing. No, it was so freaking scary because I didn't know what it was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to check MRI and scanning, thinking, oh, maybe I have a tumor. I have a, brain cancer or something like that. And I told my husband, hey, if I have a tumor, I'm high achiever, I'm a survivor. It's not a problem. I can go through it. But if it's not, I don't know what it is. And then now I'm really, really bad. And that was the case. So I did all my spiritual journey working as a Tony Robbins with the high achievers, of course, and working with the leaders. But I did my spiritual journey since then. Name it vipassana twice vipassana, TM meditation, landmark, and all these different things I did, to grow my consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, it was a little bit long, Agi.
No, actually, it wasn't from where I'm hearing, but uh, a couple of things that came up when you were saying was first that self-realization you had when you were writing down. You realized that you were still following some beliefs or some values that were from the past, and you didn't. And I think many of us find that we repeat some actions, some behaviors, or even some drivers to what we do without reassessing them and reevaluate them from time to time to see, do they still reflect the what it should. So I think that is it was a very powerful story that you shared
Thank you.
there. The other thing now, because since you mentioned the spiritual journey, what I want to ask, because obviously that is a little bit difficult or different. I will use the first word that I chose, difficult for it to be, described or maybe understood compared to, high achieving, doing more or following the tactics, etc. This, because you say that transformation is not just mental. I read that somewhere you wrote that it is energetic, it is spiritual. Now you're talking about the heart chakra awakening. Walk us through, how does that look like in someone's everyday life, this situation?
Yes, sure. And you're absolutely right, Aggie. Um, over 12 years, so 13 years, what I learned. And finally, I'm asking questions. Okay, what brought me here today, who I am, and with this transformation? So I look back everything, Tony Robbins and a spiritual journey, and then, yoga, qigong. And last 3 years, I'm in work with Dr. Dispensers. So
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of meditation from Dr. Dispenser. I did all his, retreats again and on that. And I realized really it's not a one thing which helped me. It's combination of biological transformation and neurological transformation
Mm-hmm.
and spiritual, so conscious transformation. It needs to go together, because one is blocked and it will block the other part, right? So I've seen so many spiritual people not healthy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or not having still right mindset. Or some people very strong physically and mindset, but still not conscious. It's only me, 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 right?
Mm-hmm.
They can't
Mm-hmm.
go beyond themselves. So I think it's a combination of that three things together. And then
Mm-hmm.
finally, over the case, the work I've done, especially since 2nd of August 2021, I do meditation minimum of 1 hour every day. So at the
Okay.
beginning, the first year, I did even 3 hours sometimes because I was how can I say uh fighting against my thoughts, Yeah. And I really absolutely wanted master that. So as soon as I got some emotions comes or thoughts coming up, I go back and then I do meditation. That was it. And I was fortunate because during that 2-3 years, I left
Mhm.
Tony 3 years ago, and I was supporting my daughter in her tennis journey. So she's a tennis player. So we've been traveling around the world. And so I had that opportunity to not working 9 to 5. And so in the morning or afternoon, as soon as I have a time, I could do that meditation journey.
Mhm.
Now, what is the result? So it's amazing because I've been doing that meditation for 2 years myself. And last year I went to see a Dr. Dispenza in live. And I realized, oh, wow, okay, all those things are from meditation and, having working on my consciousness. So first is I have my metabolic age is 20 years less.
Wow.
So that's a big achievement,
Quite
right?
impressive, yes.
Yes, I'm so proud of myself. So that's first thing. And already like many years ago, he started a little magic happen. So um, people call me Madame Parking because everywhere I go, I have a parking spot. Just here, there, ever and never problem with a parking spot. Little things like that, right? And if I didn't have a lunch and I'm thinking, oh, I didn't have a lunch and I need a little bit more time, my clients cancel. Or he's oh, I'm 10 minutes late. All this is synchronicity.
Hmm.
So therefore, life becomes effortless. It goes in a flow. And more you got that, you have a more trust, more faith, then you become more surrender because you have a proof front of you everyday life, right?
Hmm.
And more present. Whatever I do, I think nowadays like a 90% time I'm present. So I think that's a gift. Yeah.
Being present. I can't think of many gifts that would be more important for someone to have to be present. For me personally, Grace, this is uh, my quest, my journey is this awareness, self-awareness from moment to moment, which I'm working on it. But I think it is indeed the awareness of the present moment, and whatever is happening in the present moment is everything else. You were talking about the flow or finding the parking spots, or when I heard you say that and about someone canceling because of what you thought of time or find the parking, the word that or the phrase that came to mind is manifesting. Powerful manifesting is that sounds like quite powerful. So thank you for sharing this, Grace. What I would like to hear some of your wisdom on, and I would like to. I have two categories of people in mind that might be listening now, and let's take them one at a time to keep it simple. But the context I would like to ask the question to you is something we said just before we started recording about. The quality of the questions that we ask ourselves and how that can really make a huge difference to everything really. So I want to ask the first category of people that I can think of that are listening would be people who are externally successful, outwardly successful. And I know you have worked with many, some of people, the world's top performance. Is there a pattern for people who do have this outward success, but internally they're disconnected, they're unfulfilled? Is there some common thread between all those people? So maybe someone listening now can see if they identify with.
Yes, absolutely. There's a common thing I see, and with the that categories of people, I start is I see leadership as a two phases:
Mhm.
self leadership and leadership. It's like a child becoming like a parents. It's impossible, right? So usually in our ideal world, we need to become self leader of ourselves, right? And then becoming leader for others. Since a young age, what do we have as education? You need to understand, you need to work hard, you need to become a leader, you know, but nobody teaches us how I can be happy, how I can be rich, how I can be a good mom or good dad or a good person, all these things. And then suddenly you have that responsibility of a leader. So most of my leadership clients, they suffer because whole their life they've been serving others, their team, their KPI, their company,
Mhm.
their family, children, and then they come they come to the session and they say, "Hey, Grace, I want to be happy." Then I ask them, "What makes you happy?" Silence, no answer. I don't know.
Mm.
So how can you get something you don't know? That's the thing. That's the kind of a sad thing of being that position and that power, and then outside the world you have everything, success, but not being able to identify who you are truly and what makes you happy. That makes empty. That makes empty. So how I navigate with that people is bring back to the self leadership, go back to the basics. Let's go. Who are you?
Mhm.
Starting out, self awareness. Start with that. Most of people, it's really like me when I had that success, yeah, as a value. It's eye opening. That's, oh, am I? Oh, really? Oh, it's ensuring. And then they discover with that excitement and curiosity, right? It's
Mhm.
really a discovery, self discovery. And after that, once we got that part, and then after that we go through that self mastery. Okay, now you are this person. Who do you want to become as an identity, and then what do you need to become that person truly, and what is necessary to align with your true self.
Thank you. Self awareness, identity, you said many things there, but the self leadership, that's the phrase or that I highlighted from your answer, because it all starts with us, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And nowadays, the buzzword is an authentic leader, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Authentic leader there, authentic here. But how can you become authentic if you don't know who you are,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. It's the first step, of course. Of course, be true to yourself, but who are you? Exactly as you said. Know thyself. The most one of the most ancient pieces of wisdom. I wish more people actually took time to contemplate on what it means and how we can know ourselves. Um, Grace, let me. I said earlier I had two categories of people in mind. I think the second category is. I have a feeling it's a very interesting category of people. So, and
Hmm.
I suppose you work with people like that
Hmm.
who are already highly aware. They have this kind or some kind of self awareness much more than the average person.
Hmm.
Is there? Have you noticed any? mm, Shall I call it blind spot, something that comes up even with the most conscious and aware leaders that you work
Yes, absolutely. I would say it's more discipline.
with?
For me, it's a discipline. Maybe for other people, it's a different word, consistency or discipline. Um, So it's like a high performers, athletes, or, you can't become high performer without practice. So my daughter was tennis player. Oh, she played like 3 hours, 6 hours a day, and plus fitness plus. And myself, I was a professional pianist for 15 years, and I played 3 to 6 hours every day. And in competition, even 7, 8 hours a day. Yeah. Is it a sacrifice? No. That's what is necessary to become who you want to be. So if you consider yourself as a leader, there are commitment and professionalism and duty as a leader to complete. So I think there are lots of successful leaders, having their morning routines, right? And if you look at them, what they do, it all comes down to body, mind, soul. Yeah. So as I mentioned, the biological, neurological, and spiritual, right? Usually they have the 3 areas covered in the morning for them to be ready as a self-leader. And now when you are ready, and then you go and then lead others.
In terms of, thank you, in terms of the questions that we ask ourselves, and I will ask it as a different question, is there something common that you have noticed that many people ask a question in a disempowering way, and therefore, the result or the answer that they will take is not the ideal? So can you give us a couple of examples, perhaps, of these kinds of questions, and how can one recognize them and reframe them?
Do you mean the questions, self questions, when they have
Yes. Let's talk about one. Sometimes people ask. Let me try and find an example. Something happens that is not according to our expectations, and many of us will ask the questions, why did this happen? Or which is, of course, it is a question that is not going to give you a very good answer usually. So that's what I was
yeah,
referring to.
yeah,
If there is
gotcha.
any question that you have noticed that is quite more common in these groups of people.
Yes, yes, of course, and we are programmed, kind of like I consider really our brain as a computer, right? A software, you program and you condition, and whatever you put inside, it'll function and it'll operate with what you have, right?
Yes.
So unfortunately, even our parents, I'm a parent myself, so with the best intention and love I have, I pass something, my baggage, my luggage from past to her. You know, it's not intentional, but still we have, the heritage. So from that parents or education teachers, friends, schools, or our boss, that. So first thing is, I often ask to my clients, is it your voice? Is it your question? Really? Is it you? So that's the first thing you need to really answer yourself to connect with your question. And a second thing is really your thoughts are not you. We think when thought comes and you believe there's a absolute truth, universal truth. It's not. It's just random thoughts. It's just wired, right? And therefore, we have an absolute power to control our thoughts. And once you start dissociate with your thoughts and be able to say just, oh, this is just the thoughts, I can replace it. Then you can ask better questions, of course, as you mentioned, we mentioned before, as Tony said, quality of your life is quality of your questions. Yeah. Stupid, dumb questions, you will get stupid, dumb answers. If you keep saying, why did I do that? Why I'm so stupid? Of course, you're going to say you are stupid because blah, 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 blah. Your brain go and then search the databases and then all the things, dumb things you've done, and it will come out, hey, here's the answer, right? So in that case, so instead of why the things happen that way, there are many other options you can ask. You can make a list of things you can, play with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what is the lesson here? What are the benefits of this? Or, what are the other perspective from the other people's side, or anything. So, yeah. But anyway, I think you can make a list of things which are more aligned with yourself
Mm-hmm.
and practice it. Replace the questions into your
Mm-hmm.
daily life.
Thank you. And what you said to consider whether it is your question in the first place, I think that's also very powerful to the origin of that question. Um, Grace, before I will start wrapping up soon, but before I do, I
Mm.
wanted to ask you, can you give us um, something actionable, one daily practice one can take in order to, let's say, reconnect more or move the journey of reconnecting with their inner self more? What's something that they can do today or tomorrow morning?
Yeah. I guess your listeners are all busy, like my clients, right? They don't have a 2 minutes in their head. They all have a 2 minutes, but in their head, they don't, right? So usually I start with there are two different type of clients. The clients who knows meditation or who knows a little bit of that practice, daily practice.
Mhm.
And there are clients like me, 15 years ago, no clue what is meditation. Yeah. For me, meditation was like after the death. Yoga was like after the retirement, right? So I was
Yes.
that, yeah, novice. But anyway, so for the people who never done meditation, anything like that, two things I suggest. One is just discount the number. It means 50 to 1. But you can just say 50, 49, 48, like that. You close your eyes, you visualize the number. Seriously, you need to visualize number 50, 49, 48, 47, right? And you count out loud. Or if you have a people around you, just in your mind, 50, 49, 48, 47. That will allow you disconnect with your brain at least 50 seconds. That is a huge gift for your brain. And believe or not, that's going to be really, really challenging. 80% of my clients, they can't do it. They can't. 52 one. I had one client call me and said, Grace, I can't do it. It's impossible. So because she's a high achiever, yeah, obviously, she said, to make me feel better, I tried 20 to 1. Still couldn't do it. So I did a 10 to 1. At least I can do this. So she did a 10 to 1. So, and then you can increase 20 to 1, 30 to 1, 40, 50. I usually do the 101 when I'm in sauna or the places, that like that. I do 100 to 1. So you can increase that. That's one. Second, simple breathing. You can breathe in for 6 and breathe out for 6, but it needs to be even. And so back straight and be centered, and then using your diaphragm, your belly, because most of my leaders, they breathe like that. No, use your belly and 6 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right. So 5 seconds to 6 seconds. Breathe in and breathe out. Start with the 2 minutes, and if you can increase till 5 minutes, that's amazing. I know someone who changed his life doing it 15 minutes a day. Everything start to change because you start to be aligned. But it's too simple. People don't believe it, so they don't do it. So that's the two things I would suggest.
Thank you very much. Yes, and it is simple things that make the big change done over and over again. You were talking earlier about consistency and discipline. There is, at least I have not found any magic button or anything like that that will transform you into master of your life like that. It takes determination, it takes effort, it takes these simple practices, but you have to do it. You have to take the time and breathe. And as for the counting down from 50, yeah, I can imagine it must be very difficult to maintain your attention on the number for 50. Yes, I will probably start with 20 or something. I don't think I would be able to do it at 50, but I will certainly try it. I have done something similar with breathing at the same time, and I know how challenging it is to maintain your attention, because your mind will drift off usually at 49. From 50 it will start drifting off. Thank you for this simple and practical things that one can take. Grace, before we start wrapping up, I want to ask, where would you like to send our listener, the mastery seeker, to continue the journey with you? What's the next step?
Yes, that's all in one place. My
Mhm.
website, which is www.Grace Najean, my name. So
Mhm.
Grace, GraceNajean.com.
Mhm.
And I'm very proud of this website because my designer did such a great job. And you can find who I am, my offers. I do a retreat in Lombok. It's near Bali. It's a 30 minutes from Bali. It's a magical place. So I do my retreat, 7 days retreat, working each energy center and voice work, voice transformation, and consciousness work together. It's all leaders, coming, only 20 people. So it's a very intimacy, and then the, how can I say, the like a family, kind of environment.
Mhm.
So that's the 1st of November this year in Lombok, and I also have a 1 year program after that. Oh, can I tell just one thing? I have a 777 program, which is a 7 weeks retreat, right? After that, because I've been so many retreats and events, and people come back and come back and come back. I was like, why? Because when you go back in your life, you have a same husband, same wife, same children, same car, same bed, same colleagues, right? It's so hard to keep maintaining that transformation,
Mhm.
right? So I was like, how can I support my clients? And the idea came, I downloaded the message 777. I was like, okay, that's it. So 7 weeks after the 7 day retreat, the 20 people meet in the same Zoom group, and we hold that energy and we hold each other. 7 weeks, keep maintaining that transformation. And after that, 7 months, individual coaching with me, so I can support you applying that transformation into your daily life. So that's my 777 program.
Thank you. Grace, I have two final quick questions for
Sure.
you. And the first one is, what does personal development mean to you?
It's a self discovery. It's not about, yeah, of course, as a byproduct, you'll be more performant, you'll be more efficient, and
Mhm.
your life is gonna be easy. But in this world, when you're born, the most important person is yourself, right? What does it mean living this world not knowing that person?
Question. Uh, and hypothetically, let's say you could go back in time and meet your 18-year-old self. What's
Hmm.
one piece of advice you would give her?
um, you're doing well. Keep going.
Very nice. Grace, I want to thank you very much for this conversation we had today. There were some really powerful moments of wisdom, I will say, and I hope that the listener has found some insight there. I'm sure that they have. I want to wish you all the very best with carrying on what you are doing and making a difference. I will leave it to you for your parting words and perhaps some actionable wisdom again for the listener of this conversation.
Sure, sure. When you're a leader, I think it's very difficult because you feel like you're selfish if you're focused on yourself. I think being selfish and thinking about you. So it means your intention is all about you, and taking care of yourself is different. So as I mentioned, it's your duty to take care of yourself. Please take care of yourself, because world can be changed because of you, not because of others, right? So please take care of yourself and protect yourself from outer world noises.